Now, if you'd have come up and said you're detained for this crime, I'd have provided you everything you needed, but you didn't do that. Y'all just want to know what I'm doing.
In this encounter, a citizen is filming trains and public infrastructure from a church parking lot of protected First Amendment activity. After a call to dispatch about suspicious activity, several officers arrive to question him. The argument centers on a fundamental legal boundary, an officer's authority to demand identification versus a citizen's Fourth Amendment right to refuse unless there is reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad.
What can I do for you?
Well, we had a call that you were recording trains or something. I don't know for sure what it is.
Okay.
Is there any reason why you're over here? Is that what you're doing?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know what you're doing?
No, I don't know that. I don't know that I need to explain to you what I'm doing.
Well, you're on private property.
Are you assuming I don't have permission to be here?
Do you have permission to be here?
Do I not?
We got a call on you, a complaint, okay? That's
Okay.
why I'm here.
All right.
All right? I'm off duty. I'm just trying to help out right now, okay?
Okay.
So do you have any ID or anything?
I do.
Okay, can I see your ID, sir?
Am I being detained?
No, sir, you're not being detained.
Nah, I'd rather not answer any more questions.
You're inside a vehicle,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Do you have a right to be on this property?
I'm not answering any more questions.
You're not.
Given the fact that if I'm not detained, I don't have to provide ID, he did not detain me. He just took it upon himself to go back there to find out who I am. I do not have to provide that information to you unless I'm detained. And you didn't detain me until you walked to the back of my car after you ran my plate and after that officer ran my plate. I have it all on video.
That's fine.
Now, if you'd have come up and said you're detained for this crime, I'd have provided you everything you needed, but you didn't do that. Y'all just want to know what I'm doing. So you want my ID, which is not the way it works. And because I didn't,
Hold on.
because I didn't provide my ID, then he wants to be shady and go run my plate.
Nobody's being shady. Listen to me, sir.
Everybody's being shady here. I haven't committed a crime. I haven't done anything wrong. And if you say I'm trespassing on this property, you're wrong, because I can't be trespassing on a property that I've never been asked to be to. This is a church parking lot. Are you prepared to stay in court,
Sir,
and tell the
listen to
court
me.
that this preacher of this church
No.
would not want me here sitting in his parking lot?
Are you going to let me answer?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the answer to that is we got a call that you were here, okay? We're investigating that. You were sitting in front of Rite Aid parking lot or anything else. It doesn't matter, okay?
Well, if
And
it doesn't
let me tell
matter
you
where I'm
something.
sitting,
Hold on, sir.
why was
Hold
I?
on.
Why
I want to get an
Why
understanding.
was I threatened with being
Sir,
charged of
listen to me.
trespassing?
Listen to
And
me.
I would appreciate if you didn't touch
Listen,
me.
listen.
I know you have no ill will, but I would appreciate
And I don't.
if you didn't take for granted that we're friends enough for you to touch me.
Well,
Because right now you're performing an illegal act,
Why is
and
that?
I don't
I'm just
trust
talking to you.
Well, this is not a consensual conversation, and the only way it's going to continue to be a conversation is if I'm detained. And if you detain me,
well, until we
it's-
figure out why, let me tell you this.
unless I'm being detained, I'm not answering any more questions, and I'd like to be free to go about my business.
Until we figure out why you're here, you are being detained, sir.
Okay, what crime am I being detained for?
Suspicious activity. Trespassing for one. There's a railroad
Now
here.
we're back to trespassing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what it is, sir. I'm not just pulling stuff out of my butt here, you know.
So
I
if,
mean, that's
if I was to go park in, like your example, if I was to go park in Rite Aid parking lot and sit there and take some pictures, that makes me trespassing? Okay, that is openly accessible to the public. There are no signs that say private property. There are no signs that say you
sir,
can only
I'm not
be
being
here.
argumentative with you and saying
No,
none of that's not the case.
You're just wrong.
You're exactly right.
I mean, you can charge me with trespassing all you want, but if you think you're going to be able to stand up in court in front of a jury of my peers and convince them that what I'm doing right now is trespassing, you're wasting your time, my time, and the court's time. All this boils down to is your off-duty officer that pulled up and told me he was off-duty and told me I was not detained, wanted to know who I was, and he doesn't have that
No,
right.
that's not what happened.
I have it all on video.
I understand.
That's
You're
exactly
right,
what
But
happened.
let me tell you, he didn't just run across you. What happened was he heard the radio call. Me and that other deputy got a radio call that somebody was here taking pictures.
Okay.
And he heard it on the radio and was close by and stopped.
Okay, let me ask you
He didn't
this
just
then.
approach you because he felt like
So
approaching you.
nobody called and said there was somebody trespassing. Somebody called and said I was taking pictures.
Right.
Is it illegal to take pictures in public?
It depends on what you're taking a picture of, sir. Here's the thing.
So you're telling me that a citizen doesn't have a right in public to take a picture of anything they can see from public? Is that what you're telling me?
let me back that because I'm going to use that argument. That's what
I just like for you to answer my question.
Hold on, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
But I'm going to answer it in a way that you asked us too about running your license plate. The courts have already said that license plate is in plain view wherever it is. As long as we don't go up in your yard and do it.
And I didn't accuse you.
No,
I said I think it's illegal, and I'm going to find out.
And I'm explaining it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And before we leave, I'm going to need names and badge numbers from every officer that's here, or a business card.
Well, you're recording it. You got mine right here.
Okay. What's your badge number, sir?
1123.
Thank you. And I'm going to need it from those gentlemen as well.
So, why can't we have a civil conversation here and explain what you're doing here?
We were having a civil conversation until your officer, who was off duty and told me that I was not detained,
he's not here, so
started asking me for my ID, what I was doing, why I was here.
Okay, I'm asking you to communicate with me.
Okay. I'll communicate as much as I feel necessary to communicate with you.
Okay.
If I'm being detained, though, I need to know right now if I'm being detained. Because if I'm being detained, I'm going to cooperate silently, and I'm going to plead the fifth and not answer any more questions. Now, if you want to have a consensual conversation and communicate, I'll do that if I'm not being detained at my discretion, not yours. So I need to know, am I being detained for a crime? And if so, I need you to articulate what crime I'm being detained for.
You're being questioned and talked to right now about suspicious activity. That's the call. That's what we have.
But am I being detained? If I'm not being detained, I'm going to be free to go on my way.
Sir,
Listen, the law says if you're detaining me, I have to cooperate within the law. If I'm not being detained, I have every right to leave.
Under the standard set by the Supreme Court in Terry v. Ohio, a detention is only lawful if the officer has specific, articulable facts that suggest a crime is afoot. Investigating a call or suspicious behavior are common starting points for police contact. But without a suspected violation of a specific statute, the encounter remains consensual. In a consensual encounter, a citizen is legally free to ignore questions and go about their business.
Can we have a sensible conversation about one thing?
No, we can't. You've told me I'm being detained, so as of right now, if I'm being detained, I'm not answering any more questions, and you tell me what I need to do.
What do you mean if I tell you what to do?
Well, if I'm being detained by law, I have to cooperate. If I'm not being detained, I don't have to cooperate.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, here's what it can come down to, okay? If you want to play this, okay?
I'm not playing anything. I'm following the law.
I understand.
I wish we were all following the law.
And that's what I'm telling you, the law. The thing is, the law is telling you, don't come back on this property, don't come back on that property, or that is failure to obey an order, and you can go to jail.
Okay. On what property? You said this property?
This property, yes.
And you said that property. What other property are we speaking of?
This property. Right
I've
here.
never been on that property in my life.
I'm not saying you have. I'm just telling you.
And if you're giving me a direct order that I can't be on this property, and I contact this individual right here, and he tells me I can be on this property, me and you're going to court.
I don't care, sir.
I know you don't care. Well, you can't just go around telling people
you're not
what
a church member.
How do you know that? Are you assuming that?
Is he the preacher here? Can he come over here? Do you know this individual?
No, I'm sorry, I do not.
How do you do,
Is he
sir?
a member of your church?
No, he's not.
Is he allowed to be on this property?
No, he's not.
Okay. Can you tell me why I'm not allowed to be on? I'll respect your wishes, but can you tell me your reason for me not being allowed to be on this property?
I would prefer not to do that.
Okay, that's fair enough. Have you ever told me before that I wasn't allowed on this property?
No, I have not.
Thank you for being honest. I appreciate that. Would you like to know why I'm on your property?
No, I would not.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Oh, are we done now?
Yes, sir.
I'm not being charged with trespassing? Can I have your name and badge number?
The outcome of these encounters often depends on who understands the letter of the law. In one case, a claim of trespass fails because no prior warning was given. In the other, a traffic stop concludes when the officer cannot cite the specific code being enforced. Recording these moments ensures that authority is exercised within the boundaries of the Constitution. When facts meet the law, transparency is the final result.